So it has that meaning as well. It also has a meaning in Hindi when there is a moral complexity. यार उलझन में फंस गया हूं, क्या करूं, ये करूं कि वो करूं, राइट, क्या सही स्टेप लेना चाहिए. So it's a very complicated word actually, because it has so many connotations. And when I was thinking about the title, they all fit this sort of film for me, because there are elements of all those dimensions of Uljhan in it. The protagonist, played by Saloni, is actually, even though she never voices it, she's pregnant. And this is a journey of actually giving birth, just not to the girl she thought she would, but she becomes a mother, maybe not to the kid she's carrying, but some other girl, Munni. But it is the anxiety for her of bringing this new life into the world, in a world which she doesn't really buy into or understand, or is still trying to figure out what is the right thing to do, right? What's the right way to live in this world? There's that constant anxiety that is annoying at her. Then obviously there's the Uljhan of the plot. Now we are stuck in this situation. There's an accident. There's all those things that happen, right? And the couple has to figure out how best to do. There's the Uljhan of, can I lie to, they are lying to each other while trying to protect each other. But what that's doing is contrary to what they think they're trying to do. So I think ye jo shabd tha, it was such a perfect one for me, for what I was trying to, for the story. And then our French producer, I was very worried ki English mein what is a, there is no such word. Hindi is such a rich language ki English mein koi aisa ek shabd hi nahi hai jo ye sari meanings ko embody kar sake. To our French producer actually came up with the word. He said the knot. And it suddenly struck me that that's such a perfect word, because, we say in English, oh, I'm tied up in knots. I don't know what to do. Or I feel a knot in my stomach, which is equivalent to jo mujhe uljhan ho rahi hai. And I'm in a sticky situation. So it was the closest we could come to this word. There was no perfect substitute in English. So that's, I hope, gives you some sense of why that word. The second question, Vikas and Saloni have much more experience than me working in films. I'm a noob compared to them. But I just want to say one thing, and then I'll leave it to them, because it's a very, very important question. And I think it's a question you might be a filmmaker, or you might be interested in making films, or just an enthusiast, because I can see the question has a lot of depth in terms of what every filmmaker or artist like Saloni, Vikas, we all are struggling with, which is, how do you make something that is personal and yet has a universal appeal, right? And it's not an easy film. Uljhan is not an easy film, and I knew that it's not. And I wish our producer Karthike was online, because when we were planning, before he came on board, or just when he was coming on board, he said, I need to ask you one question. And he said, I always ask this question to every director I work with. And he's a very accomplished producer. And he said, who I chased literally to try and get. I was like I met him at Film Bazaar in Goa, and I just got after, he was there with Saloni's movie Sony, and I just got after him with the script, and I said, I want you as a producer. And he said, I only work with one or two directors. I don't have time. But every time I saw him, I said, no, you have to read the script, please. I said, don't be a producer, but at least give me your notes, because I respect your artistic uh, sort of approach. And so I just love notes. And he said to me, he said, okay, I think he just got so fed up. He thought, पढ़ लेता हूँ script नहीं तो पीछा नहीं छोड़ेगा. So he read the script, and then, somehow I just didn't go away. I was like that makhi, the housefly that never leaves. And so I kind of almost coerced him into getting into this project. But he asked me, he said, before I agree, I have one question for you. And I think it relates to Shivan's question. And he said, what's your intention with this film? And he said, you and I have to be on the same page with the intention, because if our intentions are not the same, we can't work together. And I thought that was such a great question, because he said, before you make the film, I want to know why you want to make the film. What's your intention? And if your intention is XYZ and I think this is this film, then I don't think we should work together. And I said, that's such a great question, you know? And I think that's what Shivam is asking about. What is an artist's intention? And I always feel this question called what is art, right? Is such a, we can think it's such a nebulous question, but the reality is, I love the, Leo Tolstoy wrote a very fine 3-page treatise on this. What is art? And the thing he said really resonates with me. He said, art is very simple. It is a form of communication, which means that the emotion I felt while making it, or Vikas Saloni felt while being those characters, embodying those characters, did that emotion transmit to someone when they see it? Whether it's a painting, a film, a piece of music, right? So if I'm trying to make you laugh, and that's, I'm laughing while writing the script, did you laugh when you encountered the film? Because you'll never meet me, right? I mean, fortunately, thanks to open theater, we are getting to meet, but mostly we never meet the people who watch our work, right? Personally. And that's why I'm thankful to open theater and other such platforms for giving us that opportunity, which completes the loop. But really, and that's where intention comes in. So Shivam, I don't think at all that indie films have to be heavy and like this one, and leave you with maybe a certain kind of somber feeling. Not at all. I think, in fact, the next film I'm right now trying to make here in New York City, it's a comedy which I've written. So I absolutely don't think that independent film should be this or that. I think I think what the independent film might afford us as artists is that opportunity to be pure in the intent of our communication. So when you encounter it, if my intent, I can make a horror movie. That would be art if it scares the hell out of you. I think that's art, because what else is art? So I don't think art movie is something different from other films that we watch. And a mainstream film which really works on it, with the intent of the filmmaker, to me, that's art. You can call it mainstream and it might make $1 billion, but if the writer or the director or the actors were trying to scare the shit out of you, and they did, then that's art to me. And that's the only measure. But if I was trying to scare you and you weren't scared, I kind of failed as an artist, I feel. And I won't scare everybody, but if most people that encountered the thing didn't get scared, then yeah, maybe I attempted something that didn't work. So I think ultimately it goes down to what was your intent. And that can be in any genre, in any tone, in any जो हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं जो नौ रस, they are all legitimate grounds. Anyway, I'll shut up. I've spoken way too much, so you guys can jump in.
No, I think the question's answered. Let's go to the next one. But thank you, Shivam, for that question.
Sorry. Sankalp, आप unmute कर लो and ask.
Yeah, am I audible, first of all?
Yes. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity, Saloni. It's an honor to witness Vikas sir and Saloni ma'am. The question that I had was, once I heard in a roundtable in 2019, and it was a very beautiful roundtable that which Marshala Ali was a part of. He described that acting is something wherein you prepare about the psyche of the character. You prepare about a lot of stuff that is, leading up to the place that is between the action and the cut. What happens when there's a film like Uljhan, on which there's a tight kind of budget and you are not feeling it on that particular day? Do you guys have that? That liberty of going back to that